Here we are again, dropping points. I was gonna make this video right after the game, but I told myself I needed some rest because it was very early. We got a super early kickoff this morning, and I told myself I wasn't going to completely yell at the camera because what does that do for anybody? So I just wanted to point out a couple things that I noticed and why I feel like Hansi Flick is starting to struggle, especially in the later parts of the game. I do have a couple of notes as well. Give me a second. To begin, the game started off super early, so I was making breakfast while watching the game. I kept noticing that we were being super highly pressed by Betis, and I think Barca was caught off guard because we started really badly. We started terribly. It wasn't the worst, but we didn't play well. We were being countered every time. We weren't catching Betis offside at all. I don't think we caught them offside not once this game, which is extremely rare, especially seeing that the last game we caught Mallorca, I think it was. We caught them offside like 10 times. So to not catch Betis not once, you know, I understand they are higher on the league table, but to not catch them offside not once, that's like the main thing that like, we're known for this season, and to not be doing that, it's kind of embarrassing. So it was a terrible first half up until about probably the last 5 minutes when Barca actually decided to link up rather nicely. I think the ball came from, it started with, I think, Lamine Yamal. So it was a super, it was very nice. Lamine threads it right through to Pedri. Pedri, by the way, this poor kid cannot be the only midfielder that is awake for the entire 90 minutes every single game. Anyways, okay, that's later on when I do the player ratings. Pedri instantly passes it to Koundé, it was magic seeing how fast he can react, especially when he's being pressed by I think it was like 3 defenders, and then Koundé perfectly passes it to Robert Lewandowski. Finally, you know, he does what he does best, which I believe is the only thing he can do, is he can score. Other than that, he's not very good. Anyways, yeah, so Lewo got his easy goal, courtesy of Lamine, Pedri, and Koundé linking up extremely well. It was a tap and goal. So for 40 minutes we struggled up until that point, and then the game goes to halftime, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that wasn't the best performance, so how are we going to come out in the second half? We are known to fall asleep during the second half, which was kind of scary. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this is not going to go well. Let's talk about the defense. I think Balde had a very disappointing game. He wasn't linking up well. I don't think he was. He wasn't connecting with Rafinha, and Rafinha honestly he wasn't having his best game, but he was also, it's almost like Flick told him to try and play left winger, which we know isn't going to work. He's not a left winger anymore. He's completely changed his identity, and he's playing as a 10. So Dani Olmo and Rafinha at the same time, I don't think it works. Anyways, I don't think Balde was linking up with anybody. He was having a tough game because Real Betis' number 9, I don't know what his name is, but man, he was the worst player to watch on the field. And it's honestly a disgrace that the goalkeeper, that the referee let this man play the entire 90 minutes without receiving a single yellow card. He was purposely shoulder checking Barca players. He was intentionally trying to hurt them, which was, we've seen before in the past. People get red carded over smaller things. Betis' number 9 was allowed to do it for an entire 90 minutes. I think he hurt Balde. He hurt Pau Cubarsí. These are all young players. He also, I think he knocked over Lewa, and there was an instance where he did like some sort of flying karate kick towards Inaki, and I'm just like watching him play. I'm just like, how does he not have a yellow card? So that was super stressful because you don't need to be playing that aggressive, especially when you're not really contributing to your own team. Like, he was more worried about hurting the players than actually trying to score a goal. Inigo Martinez, I think he had an all right game. He didn't do anything that was like out of the ordinary. He was getting outran, which is another problem that we've seen with him and Pau Cubarsí, that they don't really have pace to them. And I think they both had probably the same game that they're normally used to having, but something about it felt like they weren't clicking today. They were playing how they usually play, but together they were a disaster. They weren't. They were getting beat almost every single run, and it has a lot to do with the fact that they lack in pace, and that's something that we need to take care of, or we need to try and rush Araujo back, because not only are these two players starting to tire because of Hansi Flick's system, especially since it has them continuously running back and forth, even when they catch players offside in other games, they're still wasting up their stamina because the linesmen don't seem to want to blow the offside flag early. So I think they are getting a bit tired, and we need a little bit more depth in the center back position. So rushing Araujo's, I think we just need Araujo to come back because we have no depth, and I don't think Christensen's gonna stay since Barca are being linked to Jonathan Tah. So who knows what's going to go. And Eric Garcia is just not quality at all. So I don't think he can even come and replace one of our two center backs. So I do believe that we're seeing an issue in depth in terms of center back. And I think that took a toll on us, especially today, especially on pace. You can tell that the boys are getting tired, and they can't do this week in, week out, especially with the amount of games that the league is making us play alongside the Champions League and so on and so forth. Okay. Jules Koundé. What to say about Jules Koundé? Okay. Koundé. He was... Okay, for the past couple of games, I've been watching Koundé a little closely because it seems like he is taking a step down from how well he started the season. And I feel like every game he's getting worse and worse, and I don't really know why that is. He got a rest, I think, a couple games ago. I'm sorry if I'm tripping, but and today I was watching him rather closely because I was like, okay, maybe Koundé will come back this game, and that's me every game, just hoping that he'll return to that start of the season form, because it was phenomenal. People were saying he was the best right back in the world. You know, he was getting those type of shouts, and so seeing that his performance is like declining every game, it's like, what is happening? Does he have some sort of injury that we don't know about? Anyway, today he actually did not play his worst game for about, I have it timed here. He fell asleep, and I don't know exactly what minute, but Koundé falls asleep, and I think this is a problem that he's been showing, that he tends to just fall asleep and give up, and almost like he thinks that they got the game in the bag, so he just stops running, and it's just like, what is happening? How do we go from this world-class player playing not only as a great right back and defending, but also on the attack with Lamine Yamal? You know, like, he's very he has range in what positions he can play in terms of, you know, attacking and defending, but he falls asleep, and that's just a problem that he's gonna have to figure out, because it can't keep happening. He already took blame last time that where he fell asleep during a throw-in, and then they ended up scoring, and then I think we ended up losing points again. And it's the same thing. He falls asleep at the end of the match. It's like he just assumes the game is done. And yeah, so that's on Koundé. Okay. Okay. In terms of the midfielders, again, what I was saying earlier about Pedri. This kid is world class. He's our best midfielder. And we all know that he's not a stat merchant. it's just he carries the midfield completely, and he's a young kid. He can't do it every single game. I don't know. I don't know why Hansi Flick subs out this kid when he sees that he's the only player actually trying to create something out of nothing. You know what I mean? He's the only player that breaks defensive lines. I don't think this kid has ever lost possession. Like, he just doesn't do that. In comparison to Danny Olmo was having a. It's almost like he wanted to play a number 10 role, but him and Rafinha were just bumping heads, because I don't think those two can play together, especially if they're both being told to try and play that number 10 role. How is that supposed to work? We need a left winger and we need a number 10. And Danny Olmo is not a left winger. We know he's not the best in any wing, to be honest. He does specialize in playing a sort of number 10 role, but I think Rafinha is better than him in that position. So I don't know how we can honestly utilize Danny Olmo for the entire. Like, he's been playing well, but okay, today he just didn't have his best game. I honestly didn't see him do anything. He was doing cardio the entire time. He was just running around, not really adding anything, you know. And so I think he was a good decision to sub off. And who else? Marc Casado. I'm honestly, okay, I am a big fan of Marc Casado. I think he's extremely important because we don't have another CDM. And so in terms of defensive help, he's 100% like what we need. But I think today he just wasn't on it. He's known to be a great tackler and ball retriever, right? Like, but I just didn't see it today. I don't know. I think it's hard to play well. It's hard to stand out when your entire team is playing bad. I think it's a case of that. And so I'm not gonna go in on him too badly. I think he's fine. I think there's nothing I see that he could really improve. I think he works well when the team works well, especially the defensive line, and we know they weren't playing too well today. So he was all right, and that's pretty much all I have to say. So Lewandowski, yeah, it's hard to talk badly about Lewandowski because he's doing what he needs to do, right? Like, he is scoring the goals, and he's a striker. He's a number 9, and he's scoring goals. So it's hard to criticize a man who's doing his job, but at the same time, that's all he's doing. And Barca, especially in this Hansi Flick system, the whole team needs to be involved, and they need to be working together as like a machine. It's almost like a machine that it's constantly pumping, and everybody needs to be on their A game, quick. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of intensity. It's very intense football, but Lewa can't do it. I think his age is showing, because other than tap in here, tap in there, and being in the box, he's not very good at doing anything else. He doesn't link up with anybody. He's terrible at holding possession. He almost gets... every time I see Lewa with the ball, someone's taking the ball away from him. That's usually the story, and that's usually how it goes. So, you know, I'm not going to talk badly about him because he's doing what he has to do, but I think his game people would appreciate him a lot more than they already do if he were just to try to link up a little better with the midfielders, maybe drop in sometimes and try to help out, because when he doesn't, he just seems like a ghost on the field. And especially when he doesn't score, it's like, what did we need him on for? You know what I mean? And I think he got subbed out today. and it just shows that his minutes are gonna be start getting cut short, especially because of his age, and I think that's just all it is. Rafinha, he didn't really show up today, but also he didn't do terribly. He's been playing every single match, and I think this game is just letting us know that he does need a little break, because he's been our best player besides Lamine Yamal, week in, week out, and this man needs a break. And I think this game we probably should have rested him, because you can tell that he's getting a little tired, and he didn't play bad, but he also didn't do much. You know what I mean? And also how I was saying him and Dani Olmo are kind of clashing heads in that number 10. I think that was another problem, that he was kind of being forced to play on the left wing, and we know that's not his best position. So I think it was a matter of that. I think Hansi Flick wanted to try to give Olmo a little bit more time on the midfield, especially in the number 10. So it was just, I think, a disagreement between the two players and the manager, which I don't think will happen again. I think Flick can tell that both players were trying to play in that number 10 role, and it just wasn't going to work. And Rafinha should be prioritized, especially since he's our captain and just is overall better in that position. So I think Rafinha, although he didn't have the best game, I don't blame him. Now, oh my God, Lamine Yamal. I saw this meme earlier. Insert meme here. Boom. Yeah, it's like, why is a 17-year-old our best player? Like, why? There was a moment where after Lewa gets subbed out, they subbed in Ferran, and there was a moment where you can see Lamine giving him instructions while he has the ball. Like, they're in play. Lamine he's dribbling slowly, and he's telling Ferran when to make the run. And I was just sitting there like, a 17-year-old kid is coaching Ferran Torres, a $60 million player, and Ferran still can't do anything. He's still bad. I'm Ferran's number one hater, by the way. Anyways, Lamine Yamal carried. He was the only hope, that he was the light at the end of the, like, he was just, even though the team played extremely bad, Lamine was the only person that I felt could change the game, kept us in the game. The fact that a 17-year-old is the only hope that we have to not dropping points. And we did drop points. And if there was someone that you don't blame at all, it's Lamine Yamal. He did everything he could. This man was dribbling, taking on players, getting fouled, getting kicked, assisting, doing everything he could. The only thing he wasn't able to do was score today. But he got his assistant, as he usually does, and it was a beautiful. Oh, the way he broke that the enemy defense, and made Ferran actually look good. Do you know how hard that is, to make Ferran Torres look like a decent striker? Lamine Yamal is just that good that he makes Ferran Torres look like a decent striker. I just have no complaints for Lamine Yamal. He got the man of the match, deservedly, and there's just nothing bad I can say about him. He played phenomenally. It's like I was watching Lionel Messi dribble again. It was beautiful. He is definitely the reincarnation, I swear. And he can do no wrong. He can do no wrong. And especially at 17 years old, the team should be embarrassed that he's 10 times the player that most of them are at this age. I'm sorry, I'm getting mad, because how is a 17-year-old making our team look worse? You know what I mean? He's just that good, and it's frustrating. What else do I have here? Yeah, and so in terms of the subs, Ferran Torres, he did score, right? He did score, and I still don't think he's good. I'd rather lose that goal than keep Ferran Torres in the team. I think he needs to go. Like, paying $60 million for a player like Ferran Torres Like Man City they they got us. They got us good. They scammed us, pretty much. We were scammed by Manchester City in terms of buying Ferran Torres. Like that was probably the worst decision we've ever made ever. I don't understand how he is a professional football player. It makes no sense to me at all. Watching Ferran Torres play gives me hope that I can still do it. He's so bad. Like it's crazy how bad he is. He cannot touch a ball. Like he has the heaviest touch in professional football. He's the fact that Hansi Flick even thinks about him playing is absurd. And last game I saw some hope for him last game, and he throws it all away in that game and in this game. Like every time he does something good, he manages to make himself look worse after. It's like he's competing to make himself look bad. He can't shoot. I think he had like another open shot in this game and he bottled it. And it's just like, how worse can he get? Every time Ferran comes in, I know something bad is gonna happen. Something bad is gonna happen. He can't do anything. Like he provides nothing for the team. He got lucky that Lamine Yamal is world class and sets him up for greatness this game, and that's it. Like how is a 17-year-old making you look like you're worth anything? You know what I mean? I'm sorry that sounds really mean, but Ferran Torres, he needs to go. He needs to leave the club. I'm gonna get to the subs. So Pau Victor, he came in, right? He didn't really do much. You know, he didn't have that much time to work with, so there's not much to say about him. He was just kind of there. Oh yeah, Hector Ford came in, and all he did was, the only thing I noticed that he did was come in and waste time and get a yellow card, which is still mind-boggling because Hector Ford comes in. He hasn't even received a warning for anything. He hasn't done anything bad. He comes in, and he wastes a little bit of time, you know, and he gets a yellow card instantly. And I'm thinking to myself, has Betis gotten a yellow card this game at all? And I don't think they did. I do not think they got a single yellow card. And if they did, I'm sorry, but it didn't seem like it. Yes, the ref was calling things for Barcelona and for Betis, but not once did he hand out a yellow card for Betis, especially the number 9. Again, he was playing disgusting football. He was just looking to hurt somebody. Especially how Balde just went through the same injury in like a couple games ago, where he was bodied for no reason and he couldn't stop coughing, right? We remember that. It was terrible. And this number 9 does the same thing to him again. I'm just like, ref, protect the players. This dude, even the commentators were so surprised. They were like, oh, on this one he's going to get the yellow. Oh no, on this one he's going to get the yellow. He just kept hurting Barca players, and that's like unacceptable that he got no card for that the entire game. Hector Ford comes in, wastes a little bit of time on a throw-in, instantly gets a yellow card. I just do not understand. I do not understand that at all. I don't know what the ref was thinking, but I don't know. Whatever. And who else came in? Gavi, he didn't really do much. You know, he didn't have that much time to show. We can move on from that. Okay, on to my last point. Frankie de Jong. Frankie de Jong. What to say about you? I don't think Frankie will continue with the club. I don't see the importance for him at all. He slows us down on the attacks because Frankie has this thing that he always wants to hold the ball. Like Barca, especially right now with Flick, it's pass. Like we're trying to get to the goal. You know what I mean? And Frankie slows down the play, and every time he gets the ball, I'm just like, I'm scared first of all because he tends to lose the ball now. He's starting to lose the ball. People rush him and take the ball from him, and that's like his thing now, where he just can't keep possession. And not only that, he's slowing the plays down. And it's like he has like no sense of urgency, like no sense of wanting to move forward and try and attack the team. It has to be the ankle, right? Because I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's a world-class player. You know, he was coming off Ajax, and we thought he was going to be, I don't know, the next best midfielder in the world. And he just hasn't done it year after year after year. I don't feel like he doesn't want it bad enough. And okay, so that's just a rant on why he doesn't work in the system, I think, at all. Another thing is, what happened today? Like, he comes in, right? Like he comes in, instantly gives off a yellow card for the penalty, and I'm thinking in my head, oh, of course, of course it's Frankie de Jong, right? Like he's getting progressively worse every year, and now this, right? And I'm already upset with him, and he goes off. Hansi Flick gets the red card, and everything just goes downhill from here. Frankie gets the yellow. We get a penalty. They score, and it's like he came in to sabotage us. Like, I don't get it. I do not get it. And it really got me thinking, I don't think he's going to continue with the club. I don't see him getting an extension. Like, there's no way the club is offering another contract, especially to a player that gets, I think he's the highest paid player at Barcelona. I don't think he's getting another offer. Plus, we have unlimited options in the midfield, and I really don't see him being better than any other option that we have. He's being outplayed by Pedri, who is our best midfielder. That's not even gonna, it's not even close. He's getting outplayed by Marc Casado, not even close. Gavi is still returning from injury, and I think Gavi is already having a better season than Frankie de Jong. Dani Olmo, although he had a bad game, he's still levels above Frankie de Jong. I'd rather have him on my team any day than Frankie de Jong, and that's saying something because he's a new player that just came in. Pablo Torre has shown to have potential, and I'd like to see him be explored a little bit more. I'd rather explore the possibility of playing Pablo Torre instead of Frankie de Jong. I have zero trust for him, especially with that ankle. I think it's definitely the injury affecting him, and I don't know what else it could be. And I think Fermin Lopez is levels above Frankie de Jong, and it's really sad to say because these are all youngsters. These are very young La Masia, players, and the fact that our captain isn't stepping up to the plate is concerning. And I really don't think Frankie de Jong has a spot in Barcelona anymore. And it's sad to say, but I think this will be his last season playing for Barcelona. And I'm completely okay with it. It's because we can't keep hoping for another year that the Ajax Frankie de Jong is going to come back. You know what I mean? Because we've given him years and years to prove himself, and it just never really got to that potential. But yeah, other than that, it's a disappointing tie. Madrid won their game today, which means we are a point away from each other, I believe. Let me see. 2 points, and yeah, so we're at 38 points, and Madrid's at 36, but they also have a game on hand. So if they win their next game, and we're level on games, they will be league leaders for the first time this season, I believe, which is very disappointing. Barca had the chance to make the gap larger, and they didn't, so that's not good news at all. But other than that, thank you guys for watching, and Visca Barça. Hopefully we have a better game next on the weekend, and that's all we can really hope for. One last message: never play Ferran Torres again, please. Thank you.